With the glorious Rockies on the horizon, the stage is set for the beautiful game to take place. The strong Colorado Rapids 2 are on the upward trajectory, but the visiting Portland Timbers 2 have plans of stealing that win for their sails as they push for the playoff line in the West. Welcome everyone to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. Excited to get this one going on MLSNextPro.com. As you can see, Colorado Rapids 2 with 6 games unbeaten. They pushed themselves all the way up to third place in the Western Conference. So feeling pretty good about making the playoffs. Now it's about can they get a home game or even more than that. Meanwhile, Portland Timbers 2 all the way down in 13th, which is second to last. But with how tight the Western Conference is, just a couple of results in the positive direction, and suddenly you're above the playoff line. It's been that tight, that competitive on this half of the table. So let's take a peek at what these two teams will be starting in their 11s. First off, for Eric Boucher's side, a really good lineup here. Some players returning from time spent with the first team, like Sydney Wathuta, Dauda Amadou, and then Nico Hansen getting a look in goal once again. His third look of the season. The first teamer will be looking for his first clean sheet at the MLS Next Pro level. He's already gotten a couple at the top flight. Now looking to see if he can lock it down at this level of things from the University of Denver. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, for Portland Timbers 2, Gage Guerra at the top of the formation, been very dangerous all season long. 8 goals, 4 assists. Meanwhile, Lucas Burns on the opposite end of the formation, you should say, had a ton of saves, 8 of them to be precise, last time out for Portland Timbers 2. Hoping that they don't need his name to be called that many times, but if they do, Lucas Burns has proven that he can step up to the plate and make some big stops, including when it goes to penalties. Officiating crew in their yellow unis this evening. Sean Tahini will be the one keeping the peace in the middle of the pitch. It will be home kits for Colorado. Meanwhile, the road whites for Portland Timbers 2, usually coached by Serge Dakota, but today it's the assistant coach, Andres Flores, who will be calling the shots on the sideline for the visiting side. We're here at the University of Denver Soccer Stadium. Exciting way to close out the midweek fixtures here in MLS Next Pro. Earlier today, the only other match in the league, a 2-2 draw between Toronto 2 and Philadelphia Union 2. A game that Toronto were able to win in penalties. Big result for them, helping them keep up in the Eastern Conference race. So as our officiating crew complete their final checks, it seems to have been identified that one of the nets is not entirely intact the way it needs to be, so gotta wait to get that tweaked before we can get this one going. In third place right now in the Western Conference, Colorado Rapids 2 at 39 points. That ties them with the Town for second place, but 2 major differentiations between the two sides. First off, the Town with a plus 22 goal differential to Colorado's 10, and even more importantly, the Town have 3 games in hand on Colorado Rapids 2, so in theory, you have to think that Rapids 2 are more so trying to stave off Ventura County, who are 2 points behind them in 4th place, than they are looking to surpass the Town. At this point, of course, form has been really good for Rapids 2 as of late. So while we're waiting for things to get back underway, here's what's coming up for the rest of the week in MLS Next Pro. Got one more midweek game on Thursday between LAFC 2 and Vancouver Whitecaps 2 before we start getting into that weekend slate. So first off, for Colorado Rapids 2, they will not be playing on the weekend. They don't play till August 31st, but you won't see it here. But on Sunday, pretty quick turnaround for Portland Timbers 2. They go back home play one of their Cascadia rivals in the Tacoma Defiance back at Providence Park. But until Sunday, here are some good recommendations for what you could tune into across the league in MLS Next Pro. I mentioned the town having some of those games in hand. Ventura County also in that conversation to try to pass Colorado Rapids 2. So perhaps you try to do the double screen with those two matches. Houston Dynamo 2 and Austin FC 2 also in that Western Conference race. Talking about Portland Timbers 2, all the way in 13th, but they're at 25 points. Currently in 8th place right now, which is the deciding line to make the playoffs. 31 points for North Texas. So just a 6-point gap between Timbers 2 and North Texas and Minnesota United 2, who also at 31 points in 7th place. So if you could get into a good run of form here at the end of the season, then this Portland side could very well see themselves climb up to one of those spots. All the boxes have been checked. So we are ready to go here now from the University of Denver Soccer Stadium. Always got to make sure everything is in ship shape before these players get to the action. Tahini sounds the whistle, and we are underway from Denver. It's Timbers 2 and Rapids 2 doing battle. Welcome you in on the broadcast once again on MLSNextPro.com. My name is Mark Schoenster. Let's see how this one unravels for us here. Midweek fixture. Well, we thought we had it going underway here, but we're going to have to take it again. Take two. We're underway here from University of Denver Soccer Stadium, and it's been quickly given away. Wathuta veering around, and it rolls out of bounds for a goal kick. So the clock started with the initial kickoff, and it seems that as of right now, that is how it'll be maintained. Already a little bit delayed with kick, but of course it's ultimately our head officials watch that is what matters. Sean Tahini's. But the footy is now undisputably underway as Mateo Bunbury rolls it up ahead for Guerra. But getting there first is Nico Hansen. Hansen getting his third start of the season with the Next Pro side. He's got 10 MLS appearances this season. Last time out for Colorado Rapids 2, a home victory against Austin. A 4-1 result. Out for a corner kick, glancing off of Andre Eriksson, the youngster on the right-hand side. It's a 4-1 result against Austin. 2 goals scored right before halftime. Really putting Colorado Rapids 2 in a good spot going into the second half of action. Service curling in, caught by Hansen. It was a game that Eric Boucher, the head coach of Rapids 2, acknowledged it's always a tough match playing against Austin. And he wasn't fully pleased with the start in the first half, but in the last 15 minutes of those first 45, he gained more of the ball, more control of the game. And then as a whole, he felt that the guys showed a lot of desire. Let's see if their desire can be displayed here. Poked away. Cameron. We'll play it out wide to Eriksson. So for those of you who have been paying close attention to our score bug at the top of the screen, you may have noticed that the clock jumped back, which is to compensate for the false start we had at the beginning of the game. now been officially mended. So it'll give a good representation of when we hit that 45-minute mark. It's always a little less important in this sport than it is in, per se, football. Cameron still going with it, rolls into the center. A lovely sliding block. Sawyer Chura putting his body on the line to protect the goal. Anthony Garcia turning back from suspension. Wanted to get on the score sheet super quick. This side showing a lot of desire in that last game, looking to continue that here in this fixture. Eric Boucher wasn't pleased with how they conceded the late goal on that one. They were up 4-0, let one get in. He's proud of the group and their performance in that one. Coming over last weekend. Here they come again. Well, it's been 11 days since the last match for Portland Timbers2. They were on the road against Ventura County, go down 2-0 in the first half. Kyle Linares scores a great goal, but then late in the match, penalties awarded to Ventura County, but Lucas Burns makes a double save, saves the penalty, and then saves the follow-up, which gives them the chance to find an equalizer, which Mateo Bunbury does in the 87th minute. Burns having 8 saves in that game total. They aren't able to claim the extra point in penalties, but if you can get a comeback on the road like that, it can still do some great morale boosting. Now it's Malik Pinto on the free kick. He'll play it short to Travis. Jackson Travis tried to wind it up. Alex Bamford given his first yellow card of the season. Center back will have to mind his business for the next 85 minutes unless Andres Flores decides to play it cautious and let another player step into that spot, but he's been a pretty consistent fixture in the lineup. Garcia taps it up ahead for Travis. And it's knocked out of play for a corner kick, defended by Bunbury. First corner kick of the evening for the home side. Nothing doing there, but Travis could wind up again. Drives it low, doesn't go too far. Jackson Travis, another first teamer, getting some minutes here this evening for Colorado Rapids too. Erickson rolls it up ahead for Amadou. Service floating in, reaches intended target. We'll be looking a lot for Mamadou Bilo-Diop tonight. Been in some kind of form recently, goal-scoring wise. Of course, when talking about that 4-1 victory, it buried the lead a little bit of what was the main story of that game, which was a hat trick from the aforementioned Mamadou Bilo-Diop.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Colorado maybe on the run here. Bilo-Diop is offside. This time starting that run a little bit too early. We want to talk about a recent run of form. These are his last 4 matches. A brace against, and generally speaking, Eric Boucher has felt he's adapted pretty quickly to Colorado. Said it'd be more fair as a coach to expect it to take about 6 months for a guy to really start to find his footing. We're only a couple months in, and Mamadou Bilo-Diop has already started this kind of tear. Just physically and stylistically hard to contain. And I think the thing he likes most, talking about Eric Boucher, likes about Mamadou Bilo-Diop is he scores goals in a variety of ways, from tap-ins to those scrappy goals to scoring long-distance worldies. How do you even begin to scout for a player like that? You can't just circle a certain area of expertise and go, all right, we're going to make sure he can't get this kind of look. We'll see if he's able to demonstrate that killer versatility in this match. Travis rolls it to Garcia. Anthony Garcia squares it. Might get a second bite at it, but an extra poke proves very crucial for Alex Bamford. Enriquez, a bit loose on that pass. He's nearly punished for it. Sun may have set here in Denver, Colorado, but still 85 degrees. Feels like temperature a little bit cooler than that. So still pretty warm out there. There's the incessant microwaving of the middle of the summer. It's gonna start to dip down soon though. Start feeling that colder breeze in the air. You know, playoff season's right around the corner. Both of these teams starting to feel that. It's right around this time of the year that you look at the table a little more intently and you start to get an idea of what your prospects are and what your ceiling versus what your floor could be. Wathuta rolls it ahead nicely. Bilo-Diop, he's offside again. They can get that timing down right. It's going to be tough to stop Mamadou Bilo-Diop on those runs. The 6'1" striker. He's tall and he's got some pace to him. You don't want to catch him galloping. I'll leave you in the dust. Erickson going to pop it back ahead. Some battling along the touchline, and we're going to get another booking. That's a second in this game, first for Colorado. Mamadou Bilo-Diop with his 5th yellow card of the season. Just reckless challenge there, leaving his feet sliding in on Kyle Linares. It's a situation where you just gotta think of the risk versus reward, because sometimes you do have to leave your feet and make a sliding challenge, but if you get it wrong, you're gonna get a booking. And you have to assess if whatever the success that you could glean from sliding is worth taking that risk. And I don't think along that touch line right there that it makes sense to go down in that situation. Those learning curve moments that this league is all about, though. Make those mistakes here, and then you won't make them when you get your opportunity to make the jump up to the first team and play in an MLS match against players like, of course, Messi, who will punish you if you make a silly error such as that. Of course, one of the most recent stars making their way over to the U.S., Thomas Muller, a wily veteran. You can see a mistake like that from a mile away. That's a lovely ball up ahead for Linares. Kyle Linares into the 18. Still Linares. He'll lay it off. And just too much air underneath that ball. It'll be caught by Hansen. But Adolfo Enriquez wished he'd done better there. They can fly down the field quickly though, Portland. And they may be onto something again here. That was a searching ball for Bunbury. Slipped through the arms of Hansen, but ultimately no harm for the home side. Garcia along the touchline, still going. Anthony Garcia cuts it in the middle, and Wathuta couldn't connect cleanly. It's an excellent run from Anthony Garcia right along the touchline. He knew he had him beat for pace. Just had to keep his balance, get by Sawyer Jura. And that's a lovely service, but neither James Cameron or Sidney Wathuta could connect on it. This part of the match is brought to you by UC Health. With personalized care and locations across Colorado, UC Health is here for you. No matter where your story takes you, UC Health. Live extraordinary. It's the Portland team that can always provide some unique challenges to whomever they're playing. Eric Boucher telling me that they've got a lot of respect for what this Portland team poses. They're a good attacking side, and he made sure in particular to acknowledge their positional fluidity. It's a technically gifted unit that players can plug and play to different spots throughout a match. So you always got to stay on your toes and stick to those principles defensively to handle that. You get too caught up in who is where, or if you think someone's just going to stick to one location, you might get pulled loose. Garcia rolls it ahead to Wathuta. Drag it back to Travis. Wathuta's cross. Too much on it. Good movement in some tight traffic. The shot deflected, goes over top. Dauda Amadou, great with the ball at his feet. Lays it off nicely. I believe Malik Pinto takes the shot there. That sequence of events earns them another corner kick. Corner kick being halted by our head official, Sean Tahini. Some ground rules needing to be laid out here. Can always get a bit bumpy and scrappy inside the 6-yard box, in particular on a corner kick. Everyone jockeying to have the best vantage point, to have some leverage. And I think inevitably some fouling takes place on just about every corner kick that's ever taken. Travis with the curler. Headed back into the fray. Player goes down. And the whistle is blown. Not sure if Kyle Linares would have preferred to just keep the action rolling there or not, but it will be Portland ball. This is the second meeting of the season between these two sides, having previously met back in April at Providence Park. Kyle Linares scoring 3 minutes into that game, but 2 goals in the second half would give all 3 points to Colorado Rapids too. Sam Bassett with 2 assists in that game for Colorado. Guy who is a product of this very field here at University of Denver. How about that deflection? Squared back across. Charles Ondo clears it away. You wonder if James Cameron should just let that one fly there. Take a shot at goal. He's so close. You can't blame him for trying to serve up Mamadou Bilo-Diop, but see this deflection. I mean, you have so much space. You can even take a touch there and then take it near post. A close call, but still 0-0. Another corner kick ensuing. Service dips down. Erickson rips it. That one had some flame searing off of it. It's a strong save from Lucas Burns. Let's take a look at that shot again from Andre Erickson. Why not have a go? The 17-year-old. I mean, that's a good shot. That was going to pick out the top shelf if it wasn't stopped by Lucas Burns. He was ever rising, but he's rising at a good rate where it's going to need to take some strength to avert its trajectory. Burns has been good lately, though, so it's also not too shocking that the 23-year-old goalkeeper handled that one despite that ball fizzing through some traffic. The lovely touch played in centrally! Oh, so close for Bilo-Diop! Another close encounter for Rapids 2. It's a lovely ball. He gets just the outside of his right boot on it. Couldn't cut it inside. They're continuing to knock on the door, though. Portland Timbers 2 need to find a response. Here they come again. Wathuta changing direction. And that shot glances up in the air, and it's out of bounds for another corner kick. Blake Pinto. Some communication with his side inside the penalty area before he takes his spot from the right corner flag. Been a healthy dosage of opportunities here for Colorado Rapids too. Haven't broken through yet. This part of the match is brought to you by King Soopers, hometown grocer, hometown team. That one bounces by everybody. Looking to find the goods there, but no one could connect on it. Certainly some confidence about this Colorado team right now, unbeaten in 6 matches. Going's been pretty nice as of late. Gage Guerra trying to change that though. Guerra served it in centrally, knocked away by Travis. Ball still in play. Well, at least so we thought. Late whistle there. There has been an uptick in goal scoring for Rapids too in this stretch, but when I talked to Eric Boucher, he couldn't pinpoint a single thing that was the big difference in why they were getting the positive results as of late. He's felt they've taken some massive steps forward in possession, but that was in July. Then they lost some players to Leagues Cup action with the first team, guys like Wathuta and Dauda Amadou. Lost some other players to suspension. Of course, general availability always can change game to game. So once they were handcuffed a little bit in that regard, they had to fall back on the defensive stability that they established early on in the season for some of these matches in August. So it's not been one thing or another stylistically, but one, I guess, trait you could say that has carried through this stretch has been their mentality. He said that we've been really strong in our mentality, and that's what's carried us. They've made these adjustments game to game depending on who's available. And I mean, look, it's served them well. They're all the way up to 3rd place in the conference and looking to keep up that good form here in this match at home. So far, it's looked pretty good here for about the first 30 minutes of this match. Basically been the only ones interrogating goal. They may be onto something here. If Garcia can catch up to the ball, and he does. Talk about some speed. Garcia taps it ahead. Travis. The service denied, but a corner kick earned. Got to give credit to Portland Timbers too so far, despite the barrage of sorts to start this game. There hasn't been too many moments that have been of utmost danger, except for maybe that Mamadou Bilo drop opportunity that just went wide, and then that James Cameron chance. So although they've had to suffer a bit in this game, it hasn't been too much for Lucas Burns to handle. You know, with them, they just need one moment to break in the other direction. They've had 1 or 2 glimmers. So far, they've basically had to take a punch after another. At some point, you feel that it cannot be sustained. Amadou. That's a lovely ball up ahead. Wathuta services the cross inside. And Mamadou Bilojop had a lot to take care of there. He did his best. It's going to be a tough finish. We're watching Colorado Rapids 2 host Portland Timbers 2. Second of 2 matches this Wednesday in MLS Next Pro. A Western Conference clash with third place Colorado and playoff hopefuls Portland Timbers 2, who are deep in the trenches of the conference standings, but not a lot separates them between a playoff berth and where they stand right now. But you know that sense of urgency starting to develop. Maybe some reprieve here for the visitors after withstanding a ton of offensive pressure. Not be long lasted though. Good slide from Bamford to close off that chance. And now they go vertical. Linares in the corner. Enriquez. That touch a little loose, but he still has it. Whistle sounds, a foul called. And some warnings will have to be issued again by Sean Tahini. She'll talk to Linares. Now has a word with Matthew Kofi Sinanu. Nico Hansen all by himself. Lofts this back into play. This part of the match is brought to you by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And the place we're at right now is the University of Denver Soccer Stadium. A third of the way through this one, still 0-0, despite a good handful of chances for Colorado Rapids too. Some good soccer being played here right now. Some good soccer will be played here tomorrow night as well. The University of Denver in the preseason top 5 in both polls for the start of the men's college soccer season. And they'll start their year off against Washington. The same place. Of course, there are some connections between Colorado Rapids and the University of Denver. Isaac Nami and Colin Keller, of course, are on the team. But would you believe it? There is a good amount of Portland Timbers products on this team as well. Dalen Acow and Kyle McGowan may sound familiar, but also joining them this year as freshmen, Hudson Tate and Kai Carlson, who have both played this season for Portland Timbers too. Not available for selection anymore, of course, in Next Pro play for the year, but did get looks earlier in the season. I would venture to say it wouldn't be too surprising if they're in the crowd right now, rooting for their former teammates. That goes to show you the type of quality players that men's soccer program is bringing in at Denver. You're bringing in guys who are already playing at the professional ranks. It's going to earn you a top 5 spot nationally. Those are players with pretty darn good pedigrees. launched ahead for Bilo Jop. Aptly done by Blake Pope as it's now returned to him along the touchline. Pope plays it to Linares. One-on-one with Erickson. Now he's got backup. They'll cut it back to Pope. Holding midfield pair of Wathuta and Enriquez. Some exchanges there before the ball was played up the pitch. Wathuta shrugging off some contact. Puts it up ahead once again for Bilo Jop. That was awkward. Cameron keeps it in bounds. Here's Wathuta. Pinto slips it ahead. And it's jarred free by Eric Wathuta. Lucas Burns undeterred by the pressure. Bunbury trying to go forward with some pace, but Jackson Travis is more than ready for it. There's Malik Pinto, one of the players that Eric Boucher felt really stepped up in the time that they were missing some pieces due to Leagues Cup. So he didn't miss a beat play quality-wise, but even more importantly, his leadership in the middle of the pitch, because that's where they lost a lot of their talent. I mean, right now, the midfield's composed of Wathuta, Amadou, and Pinto. Wathuta and Amadou were with the first team during a good stretch of time, which meant different guys are plugging into that spot. And although there isn't that same level of in-game familiarity, Malik Pinto led the group and didn't see a dip in his performance. Some other names that were briefly mentioned by Eric Boucher were Noah Strelnauer, who was a big piece in the last few games. James Cameron's been really good in front of goal. Anthony Garcia's done well. He told me he could have kept going on all the guys who stepped up during this unbeaten streak, even when they lost some players to utilize. It's always good, though, when you've got a laundry list of names that you could gush about. And this is a nice exchange. Really led to an opportunity for Cameron. Amadou lost a shoe. And there's going to be a free kick. Malik Pinto will stand behind this dead ball. Rapids 2 would love a reward for all the questions they've been asking here in the first half. It remains 0-0. Pinto serves it up. Service ripped into the middle, cleared away by Bamford. Warning being given here to Dauda Amadou, who spikes the ball, perhaps with a little bit of anger and personality, and Sean Tahini, not a fan, so some conversations being had, but not enough for a booking. Travis throws it to the byline. Another deep throw. Glanced out of play by, I believe, Sawyer Jura. So a corner kick now for Colorado Rapids 2. This will be their 6th corner kick of the evening. They've had a couple other free kick opportunities around the penalty area. So a handful of set piece chances, a handful of opportunities in open play, but nothing has been converted. Played short for Travis. He'll return the favor. Pinto not on the same page, and it's a gift wrap turnover. Izoida switches the point of attack to Jura. Bunbury weaving through several bodies and gets knocked over. That'll be a yellow card for Malik Pinto. Now set piece chance for Portland Timbers 2, who have spent the bulk of this game defending their own half, defending their own third. And despite the baker's dozen set pieces that Colorado Rapids 2 have had, perhaps Portland Timbers 2 could show them how it's done with one of their rare opportunities. Kyle Linares and Eric Izoida. Linares exits. 17-year-old Izoida lost it into the 18, and it goes through the hands of Nico Hansen. And they're going to say he didn't even touch it. So it does look like he dipped his hands down right at the last moment, seeing it was going to sail out of play. Mamadou Bilo-Diop tried to switch the point of attack over to Garcia. And would you know, another corner kick for Colorado Rapids 2. Their 7th in the first 45 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty indicative of how much time they spent on this portion of the field. So many chances for Colorado Rapids to convert. Will this be the one? It falls through. The skipping shot can't be converted. The second effort blocked away. Wathuta had a chance. Garcia had an opportunity. And that will sky out of play. As it stands right now, Colorado Rapids 2 in active standings are in 2nd place with 40 points. Of course, it's worth mentioning that as it currently stands, they have 4 games played ahead of the Town, who are just a point behind them. So you would imagine that the Town do enough to gain those points to hop them right now. But of course, games in hand is not points guaranteed. Meanwhile, Timbers 2 with actively 26 points, which ties them for 12th with LAFC 2. And although they're in the dregs ranking-wise, they're tied with LAFC 2. They're just a point behind Tacoma, just another point behind Vancouver, another point behind Houston Dynamo 2, and then 3 points behind North Texas and Minnesota United. So as it stands right now, there is only 5 points between them and the playoffs. So if you can get a run of form at the end of the season, you could catapult up the standings and have a good vie for postseason play. Marquinhos sends it inside for Guerra. Guerra will track it down over on the right flank. Jura has it played back to him. Back and forth with Adolfo Enriquez. Izoida chops it to Jura, but Wathuta's there. He reads the run. No stoppage time will be tacked on. Despite a lopsided share of chances, it's still scoreless here between Colorado Rapids 2 and Portland Timbers 2. 0-0 your scoreline. Coming up, we have a packed halftime in store for you. Highlight stats, our upcoming Next Pro schedule, plus a recent MLS signing of a Next Pro star. Stay tuned.
MLS debutant Kevin Sullivan.
Luna.
Yes! It's a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair.
Action.
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
It's dominance on the line.
Welcome back to another episode of Player Profile. I'm April Marie Aguilar. Joining me today is FC Dallas's Sam Sarver. Thanks so much for the time.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
But let's get right into it. I mean, North Texas SC, they posted a photo of you on July 24th on Instagram with the caption that read, "He gave everything to this club, and now he's earned his place at the top." After it had been announced with your promotion to the first team, what was that moment like for you?
It was pretty cool. Obviously, it's a lifelong dream that I've dreamed of since I was a kid. You know, I always wanted to play in the MLS. And it's kind of a full circle moment because when I was in the academy with Columbus Crew, I played on this exact field in GA Cup. So to be with the first team now for the home team here is pretty cool. And obviously getting a first team contract was one of my main goals this season, but now it's time to climb the ladder for other ones.
Wow, I mean, I can only imagine what's yet to come for you. But I mean, in your second match with FC Dallas, you earned the penalty that helped seal the win. And then just 24 hours prior to that, you scored 4 goals for North Texas SC. Take me just through the whirlwind of that weekend.
Yeah, it was quite a chaotic 24 hours or 28 hours, whatever they marketed it as. But no, I mean, Obviously, we went into the SKC game. They've been struggling a little bit this year, but you treat each team with the same amount of respect because on any given day in any league, any team can beat anyone. My team showed up, and then my teammates just got me in good spots, and the ball was bouncing my way that night.
And I mean, even just the energy and the passion that you showcased during that match, it's quickly made you a fan favorite. How important is that fan support? I mean, we were just talking about you giving away your jerseys to the fans.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I'm a firm believer in the 12th man. I love fans. I mean, I think any athlete would want to play in a stadium full of fans compared to not to, and especially when the fans get involved. I think that comes from my college background because we have some of the best student sections in the country, and they would always get fired up if you got them going. And I wear my heart on my sleeve, so when I can get the fans involved, that's what keeps them coming back. Like you never know, like that might be the one play they remember from the whole game. So. And especially, it creates momentum, especially when your team's rolling and you get the fans on your side. It really gets into the other team's head. So.
Did you ever have one of those encounters? I mean, coming up the ranks and meeting some of the players that you looked up to? Yeah, for sure. It was quite surreal because obviously I looked up to a lot of guys when I was in Columbus, and Lalos Abubakar was actually one of them. He was with Columbus Crew's first team when I was in the academy, and then I feel like 6 years later, he's on the first team here, and I'm playing with him. Wow. So it was a pretty cool full circle moment, and obviously I looked up to a guy like Sebastian Lletget because early in his career, he was with the Galaxy and the men's national team and stuff. So to be able to share the field with him and those types of guys is really cool.
Cross falling through in front, Sarver! There's a chance for North Texas. The speeding Sam Sarver strikes first.
Tries to drop it in to Ramirez, controls. Sarver! A fourth for Sam Sarver.
What's been the key just on your consistency in front of goal this season?
I'm a firm believer in manifestation. So before games, I'm scoring today. I like to picture how I'm gonna score. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way, but yeah, I think just having confidence, and I think personally gives me a boost when I know teams are they're scouting so heavy on guys with goals. It almost makes them in a way play work because it's in the back of the mind we can't let this guy score tonight, but if they're so worried about one player, that's when other players get open and score. So it's not just me that's contributing to the success. It's maybe they'll double team me one night, but then that leaves Tariq open and he scores 2 goals. So it's a win-win for everyone. And I think that's the main part of the success.
Again, your humility continues to be on full display, but walk me through that visualization. I mean, you mentioned manifestation. What does that look like going into a big match?
I always walk on the field before the game. It's something I do. I pray before the game, and then I like to picture where, if I get a penalty, I like to picture where I'm going to place it. Funny enough, I blew a penalty over the bar the other week. I didn't manifest that, but I like to picture things like that, or maybe a 1-2 with a teammate, and what corner I put it into, just stuff like that. And I think every soccer player listening to this they know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just picture a certain goal you're gonna score, even if it doesn't happen, you picture it happening like that. And that's kind of been I think a key to my success this year, and then God's plan though.
I love it. And how much of who you are on the field is shaped by where you come from?
A lot. I don't really change my personality on or off the field, and I take pride in that. And I think people appreciate that. There's lots of players, and I think what makes a really good team special is having different personalities of certain guys that come together. You always have the serious guy who's always locked in, but then you have the guy that brings the humor, then you have the guy that he'll crack a joke here and there, and then you have the guy that's mellow. And I think that really brings a good balance. And my coach actually had a funny quote in college. He was like, for IU, he was like, Sammy Sarver's perfect for our team, but you can only have one Sammy Sarver, because 2 of me is too much, but one guy like me I think is good. And then obviously we have characters on our team that we build off of each other, but we're all characters in our own way, So that and then when you're so close with your teammates in that way, it shows on the field.
All right, so that leads me to my next question. I mean, describe your character in that sense.
I always like to have fun. I like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I would say I'm I'm the class clown of the soccer team, you know, just I like to bring a smile to people's faces, and I think like I take pride in like uniting people, and you know, because like with the first team, you know, I introduced them to this game. It's called What Can You Bring on a Picnic, and you have to figure out the hidden rule. And now all of a sudden you have grown men with families playing a game for 2 hours about what can they bring on this picnic, and it's so fun. And like we have guys crying of laughter because like 8 people get the rule, but like the 9th guy doesn't understand what you can or can't bring. And so we played it for like the whole trip in San Jose, and it was so fun. It's just little stuff like that where it's like everyone's a little kid at heart, you know?
Yeah.
And like if you can just bring it out of them, it just makes the team so much closer.
I was about to say, like, how valuable and important is that, just spending that extra time outside of the pitch, and how does that build the chemistry once you're on it?
It's super important, and Coach Eric stressed that in San Jose, you know, before we played San Jose, he was like, I want you like be a team, go get dinner with, so I got dinner with some of the older guys, they invited me to dinner, you know. And then after San Jose, we had a great performance. We should have gotten 3 points, but we tied, and he was like, you know, like I saw a team tonight. And then you carry that momentum into where we just played St. Louis, and then we won that game. It's just, it's like when you become so close off the field, it really shows, because then it's like, okay, you're not just teammates, you're friends, you know? Right. It's like you're brothers, and you're fighting for them, you know?
And years from now, when people look back at your career, what do you want them to say about the way you approach the game?
That's funny you asked that. I was just thinking about that the other day. But the one thing I want people to remember me for is like, for me personally, there were like the teammates I remembered the most from college were not necessarily the best soccer players at all. Some of them actually didn't even play. Like they were just, but they were the glue guys that like no matter what, they just showed up and worked, and like, you know, they wore their heart on their sleeve. Like they didn't complain. Even if they knew like game day they were getting 0 minutes, they were still the hardest working people in training. And those were the guys I really respected the most. Like I obviously respect talent. I respect guys that are good on the ball and can score goals. But those are the guys I think it shows a lot about someone's character. So like when my career's over, you know, hopefully it's a long one, but thanks be to God. So I want people to remember like, okay, no matter if that kid had the best game of his life or the worst game of his life, he worked his tail off, and you know, like, because you know, I don't want anyone to be able to fault my effort. You can tell me I had a bad game, maybe I lost every ball I touched, but like, at least I was working hard, and I want people to remember me for that.
Awesome. Well, I wish you all the best of luck and continued success on your journey.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for watching this episode of Player Profile. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be speaking to next. We'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
Yeah, I know I'm fully attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro.
We're back here at University of Denver Soccer Stadium. I know you're hungry for the next 45 minutes of action between Colorado Rapids 2 and Portland Timbers 2, but we still have some housekeeping to do before we take you to that portion of this broadcast. Mark Schoenster with you here on MLSNextPro.com. Let's see what we have to offer. First off, the highlights. Although no goals in this game, Colorado Rapids 2 have been incessantly knocking on the door, thanks to many different names, one of them being Anthony Garcia, who made this great run all the way down the left-hand side of the pitch and nearly connected with Sidney Wathuta. And then we've got this rocketed shot from Andre Eriksson, looking for his first professional goal, but Lucas Burns closes that one off nicely. And then the best chance of the half, Wathuta plays it in, and Mamadou Bilo-Diop trying to make it another game with the goal. Couldn't be converted. And I talked about how lopsided it was at the end of the first half, and here are some numbers to demonstrate that. It has been all Colorado, and yet it's 0-0, which means if the tide is to turn here in the second half, all Portland Timbers 2 have to do is score a goal, and then suddenly the entire game is in their favor, because ultimately that is the one stat that actually matters, of course. So, will the trend continue here in the second 45 minutes, or will we see a mix-up in the way these two teams combine against each other? Only one way to find out, and that's to stay locked in right here. But before we get to that, let's take a look at what's coming up ahead in MLS Next Pro. We got one more game tomorrow between LAFC 2 and Vancouver Whitecaps 2, and then the Thursday, Saturday, Sunday slate begins, starting with Crown Legacy FC against Inter Miami 2 on Friday, and then the games continue on throughout the weekend and conclude on Sunday with an 11 p.m. game, Eastern time, that is, between Timbers 2 and Tacoma Defiance in a Cascadia rivalry matchup. That's the next game Timbers 2 will be playing in. It's not until August 31st that Colorado Rapids 2 will play another game, so that's 10 to 11 days from now. From the University of Denver Soccer Stadium, it's Rapids 2 and Portland Timbers 2. So we are going to get 3 changes. 2 of them expected going into this game, and the other one, I alluded to the idea of it in the first half, which is Alex Bamford, who got the yellow card really early in the match. They're going to opt to be safe with it. Andres Flores, the man in charge tonight, will sub in Malcolm Johnston to play along that back line in Alex Bamford's stead. Meanwhile, 2 players on minute restrictions in this game, the first teamers Jackson Travis and Dauda Amadou. It'll be Anderson Hossa who steps in, and Noah Strelnauer, who will take place in the midfield. Strelnauer, one of the names that Eric Boucher shouted out, who have stepped up big time in Amadou's absence during this recent run of good results for Colorado Rapids too. So some good names stepping into this fixture for both sides. Let's see how they change the complexion of this game as we are back into the fray of things. No false starts this go around. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenster, excited to be presenting this game for you here. James Cameron. Goes all the way back to the center back duo of Matthew Kofi Sananu and Charlie Harper. Everything basically going in favor of Colorado Rapids 2 outside of getting that goal. Wathuta. He can chase this one down. And it results in a throw-in for Colorado. Mentioned it before. Jackson Travis and Dauda Amadou going to the bench. Eric Boucher talking about how they've been spending time with the first team this past month, and so they didn't want to give them too much minutes, but trying to keep them fresh and ready to go for the Colorado Rapids proper. One of the benefits of these midweek games is you get a wider selection of players, because if you know on the weekend when you're usually paired up with the MLS team also playing a match, you don't exactly know who you might and might not get if someone doesn't sub into a game, and thus they want to give them some minutes on the weekend. You have to quickly tweak your lineup to adjust for that. Or on the flip side, you might anticipate playing somebody, but then they end up having to sub into the match for the first team, and now you've got to find a replacement. Of course, there's always a swath of players to choose from in a good academy system. Once again, this is a match with two teams in very different places in the standings right now. Pinto driving it forward. Malik Pinto rockets it off target. He had the space to let it fly, but much like the chances in the first half, they can't convert. Malik Pinto with 4 goals on the season. He was afforded a lot of room, and it blazes wide of the right post. So as it stands, still scoreless here. And that's the first knock on the door for the home side. Once again, currently sitting actively in second place in the Western Conference. Linares trying to help his team climb back as he puts it to Bunbury. Not a bad idea, but not a fruitful effort. Streaking down this left-hand side, the substitute, Anderson Hossa, into Cameron. Hossa once more. Chips it up ahead. Won't reach the intended target of Noah Strelnauer, who's the other substitute. And a goal kick ensuing. A hopeful ball up the pitch, looking for Linares. Headed forward by Nico Hansen. His 3rd look of the season. The first team, or the second team I should say, he's a first teamer. Spent last year in MLS NEXT Pro with Houston Dynamo 2. 10 appearances on the season. And 2 clean sheets in that stretch of games. Linares. The step was the right idea, but it got away from him. Wathuta pushing it forward. Wathuta still carrying. Wathuta shoots. Once again wide of the frame. Just making this run all by himself. Sydney Wathuta, 21 years old. You wonder if that was entirely meant for goal or if it maybe was fishing for Mamadou Bilo Jop. Rapids 2 once again on the attack, and they're going to earn a corner kick. Their first of the second half. They had 7 corner kicks in the first 45 minutes. Trying to pick up where they left off in that frame, and they'll take it quickly. Here's the service. Get another crack at it, and they will. Called out, corner kick incoming. They got 2 cracks at similar crosses, and now they'll have another go from the corner.
Thank you.
Well, they opt to take this quickly or maybe go for a more standard approach. Pinto plays it. Erickson rolls it back to his left. Pinto trying to slide it through. On the stretched legs, given back to Portland Timbers 2. Of course, the first team for Portland Timbers had a big game against San Diego on Saturday. Currently in a playoff spot as it stands right now, but it's not all set in stone. As a matter of fact, Colorado Rapids just a point behind them and in better recent form, and they have a date with LA Galaxy on Saturday. Of course, some big games worth tuning into prior to the next time either of these two sides have a match. Oftentimes you get the pairings of the second team playing the first team in a similar time frame, usually along the weekend. That's when you get these midweek games that things get a little bit more shuffled around and not paired up. This is one of those weeks for these two sides. Erickson. Fed to the middle for Bilo Job. Picked up by Pinto. Pinto trying to roll it out wide. Sawyer Jura is in the way of that pass. Charles Ondo on the ball now for Portland. So far, these first 10 minutes have transpired similarly to the way the first half did. Trying to find that script change somewhere in here. Gage Guerra has not had a lot to work with at the top. Rapids too, continuing to poke and pry. Whistle blows, that'll draw this one to a halt. Another free kick for Portland Timbers 2. This part of the match is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Bunbury knocked over, and a free kick in a good spot for Portland Timbers 2 now. Yellow card going to be handed to Anderson Hossa. Push on the back, right along the nameplate. That'll get you in the books. This is an interesting vantage point for a set piece. It's pretty close to the penalty area. Gives you a lot of interesting options. Looks to be Linares and Izuita, but similarly to the last time those two were grouped together for the free kick, Linares looking to leave it to Izuita. We'll see who whips it in here. Izuita plays it inside after the service, of course, to Blake Pope. Wathuta with a nice sidestep. Now plays it up the pitch to Linares. And he does well to keep it in play, but at the expense of possession. Hossa quickly down the field. That's going to be too far for Bilo Jop to track down, although you know that he can turn on the burners and bring some of those lofted passes up the pitch that seem hopeful and turn them into a genuine opportunity. Marquinhos. Foul on the play. Possession maintained by Portland. Eric Boucher not going to overlook this Portland Timbers 2 side. He talked about how tight the conference is. And he said Portland's not out of the race yet at 13th, and they better be desperate, and we need to be as desperate as they are, or they're going to beat us. They have every right to beat us if they come in with more intensity. Looking at the rest of the schedule, Rapids 2 are pretty confident that they can win every game left on the slate if they could go in with the right mentality. They do have a pretty favorable look for the rest of the season, but Marquinhos pushing forward, still going, and he sprays it wide. Linares streaking to his left. He opts to take it himself, and it's not a bad decision by any stretch. But you gotta put that on frame and test the goalkeeper. A rare breakaway chance for Portland. And Marquinhos was looking for that top shelf shot. A huge opportunity. We'll go to the wayside. One back here for Portland. Linares spins around, brings this ball in wide against Erickson. Linares sends that one centrally, and the header will go out for a corner kick. Back-to-back chances for Portland Timbers 2. Despite the skewed statistics, it remains scoreless. Any given moment could be the moment this game is flipped on its head by Portland. Too much on that service. And we're going to get a substitution here. Marquinhos with a big chance recently. Will be his last chance of the game. He's going to sub out for Daniel Nunez, who has showed some bright moments with this team this year, and it's earned him some recognition. Earlier today it was announced that he's been called into the Mexico U17 national team in September. They've got some friendlies. They're going to be going to Czechia to play those matches. They got games against Slovakia, Turkey, and Czechia, of course. All of those being in early September, so he'll be away from the team for a little bit, but for good reason. You always love when a player gets one of those youth national team opportunities. Part of Nunez, that is, was part of the U17 side that helped them qualify for the U17 Men's World Cup in November later this year, when they played in the CONCACAF U17 qualifiers. So not too shocking that he's getting another look here, but it's a continuation of what has been promising development for the young 17-year-old. Maybe he can add some of that flair into this game to help keep this little positive stretch going and get bolstered for Portland Timbers too. They're going to say some pushing took place here from Anthony Garcia. He thought he was able to get by Jura fair and square, but Shantini with another idea in mind. This part of the match is brought to you by American Family Insurance. Life's better when you're protected under our roof. Despite the siege that Portland Timbers 2 has suffered, it's been a nice roof defensively for them. Lucas Burns has handled everything thrown at him so far. Strelmauer squares it to Wathuta. Tried to dance it by Ezoida. Teo Bunbury held back up on his feet by Anderson Hossa. Substitution getting ready for Rapids 2. Not sure if that's going to take place here. But I'll wait till the next dead ball. They will have to hold. We're back in the fray. Andre Eriksson resets. Hansen distributes it to his right-hand side for Kofi Sinanu. He's trying to play that one deep down the right touchline. And now that substitution will take place, and the ball was searching for James Cameron, and that'll be the last run James Cameron makes. He'll step out, and Rogelio Garcia will sub in. 17-year-old. A goal and 4 assists on the season. Looking to add another one of those goal contributions here as Colorado has struggled to find the back of the net despite a wealthy portion of opportunities.
Rapids 2 substitution, 66, number 57, Rogelio Garcia, replacing number 35, James Cameron.
Blows calling that one out. I'm not sure if that one was out, but the decision's the decision. Of course, that's one of the very few viewpoints we get here on the broadcast that gives us a pretty nice angle of the action as far as the fine details. Kofi Sinanu slides it up the pitch. And a second effort will go all the way down the field where it will bounce into the penalty area for Lucas Burns to scoop up temporarily. Pope. Back to Ondo. Gotta be careful building out the back here. A lot of home jerseys lurking. And after doing so well defensively up to this point, just holding down the fort, you don't want to give away something carelessly. It's exhausting defending and chasing the ball. Result in exhaustion, and that exhaustion can turn into poor decision making or just a lack of sharpness. Ball bouncing off our head official, Sean Tahini, so they'll reset. Drop ball to the home side. Wathuta plays it to Pinto. Pinto. Keeping it along the byline. Nice find of Wathuta. Wathuta rockets it and scores! Sydney Wathuta with a banger! Colorado Rapids 2 reap their rewards finally. Sydney Wathuta with his 6th goal of the season. He sits so patiently at the corner, takes a couple steps, finds his spot, and lets it rip. The 21-year-old spending some time with the first team as of late, coming in with some of that confidence. And a blazing finish for the first-year pro. Good connection. And a lovely finish for the midfielder.
Rapids 2 goal. 69th minute. Scored by number 47, Sydney Wathuta.
So with 20 minutes to go, Colorado Rapids 2, after having the lion's share of opportunities, have found their long sought-after go-ahead goal. Bunbury from the right touchline, taps it ahead. He'll get it back. Bunbury working into the penalty area. And a goal kick will be awarded. This part of the match is brought to you by UC Health. With personalized care and locations across Colorado, UC Health is here for you. No matter where your story takes you, UC Health. Live extraordinary. Strelnauer taking a stroll. I'll play it back to Pinto. Bosa lifts this one up nicely. Oh, the Glorious was so close. Wind-up shot, takes a glance. Wathuta. Erickson. Rapids 2 as the dam burst. Looking to see if they can break through and make this one comfortable. Wathuta. Back to Strelnauer. Some loss of balance on that exchange of possession for Colorado Rapids 2, and then too much physicality will result in a booking for Rogelio Garcia. His second yellow card of the season. So 2 substitutions coming in for Portland Timbers 2, led by Andres Flores this evening. Alex Moreno will sub in for Eric Izoida. And Santino Gallardo will sub in for Mateo Bunbury. Under 20 minutes to go in this affair. A goal scored in the 69th minute by Sydney Wathuta. Assist courtesy of Malik Pinto, his 3rd assist of the season. Maybe at times frustrating for Colorado Rapids too to have not taken the lead earlier, but they've kept themselves consistent. Run of 6 games unbeaten. Eric Boucher was saying that they've been keeping their feet firmly on the ground. It's a fine line, a good balance you have to attain. As Linares takes it down the pitch, rolls it ahead nicely. Not too far off from connecting with Guerra. But you got to keep a good balance, especially when you're in a good run of form. He said, we want them to believe that they can beat anybody they go up against, but at the same time, you have to understand that these teams can come in, and if they play with more intensity than you, then you very well might lose that game. As a matter of fact, you're putting yourself in position to lose that game. So you have to still approach every single match with that fire, even if you're going into the game confident that you're going to win it. Especially as this season goes along, and most of their matches are going to be against teams significantly below them in many cases in the standings and in points. And although you could assess that as, oh, that's an easier game, but the fact of the matter is, especially at the later stages of the season, those turn into the harder matches because those teams are desperate to find a result to make the playoffs, and you maybe at that point have clinched a spot. Those turn into really fiery competitive games where teams are playing with everything to lose. So they'll keep their foot on the gas here as Wathuta rolls it back. It's Wathuta again, the goal scorer. Slips by Linares, now plays it inside. Pinto. Back out to Wathuta. Been a while since we've mentioned Mamadou Bilo Diop. He's been on such a great goal-scoring run recently. Erickson bounces it inside. Garcia! Mamadou Bilo Diop still has it. It's being scuffled around in the 18, and now it's cleared out, but not too far. The whistle sounds, and a free kick for Colorado. The yellow card being issued to Blake Pope. Askin, you shall receive. I mentioned it had been a hot minute since we've mentioned Bilo Diop, and then he gets the ball played to him here. I'm sure that Colorado was thinking the same thing, and then here's the contact after the opportunity. Just stepping into that one a little bit recklessly, Blake Pope. And now the free kick for the home side. It'll be Malik Pinto behind this dead ball. Pinto plays it in nicely, but no one's there for it. This effort ever rising, too high.
Timbers2, number 45,
Pope plays it up the pitch. The back heel from Linares slips by, and that should be a yellow card on Andre Eriksson, denying a breakaway chance, and it will be. But ultimately, could prove to be a professional foul because there was something brewing there. Moreno takes it quickly, looking for Guerra. Actually, that was looking for Nunez. Service sent inside. Guerra gets a piece of it, but not enough to direct it on frame.
yellow card, initiative in 79th minute to Rapids 2, number 67, Andre Eriksson.
All the way up the touchline. Rogelio Garcia. Still Garcia. Rolls it in centrally. It's poked away. Wathuta picks up the pieces. He'll play it back out to Garcia. Finds Pinto. And it's escorted out of bounds. Well shielded. So I talked about the perspective that Rapids 2 might have for the rest of their games this season. A lot of tough games are on the horizon for Portland Timbers 2. As I've mentioned earlier, on the weekend they've got a game against Tacoma, and then they play their other Cascadia rival, Vancouver, the week after. And you still have matches with Austin and the Town and St. Louis, which are some very quality teams in the Western Conference. And you got to play LAFC 2 and Houston, who are also hungry sides trying to get into the playoffs. It's going to be a lot of grinded out sort of games to close the season. This one tapped back. Hossa floats it in. No one can reach it. It'll be Wathuta on the ball once more. Connects with Eriksson. Colorado don't have to force anything here. Have the 1-goal lead, and the clock is increasing itself as an ally. Wathuta curls this ball inside! The save parried straight up. Second effort, well off target. Wathuta searching for Mamadou Bilo Jop. Lucas Burns able to punch it up in the air. He's able to take the sting out of it and push it upwards. They've got several players down for the home team. Wathuta hurt after the cross. And then I believe that's Andre Eriksson on the ground. He tried to hit the follow-up volley. That, of course, will be the other objective for these two sides now that we're nearing the end of this game, which is, of course, making sure you preserve, don't lose anybody unnecessarily here. And on the topic of preservation, there was a change for Portland Timbers 2. Sawyer Jura will exit, and Bryce Van Vuris will sub in. Jura putting his body on the line early in this game with a sliding block. And he has been duking it out with Anthony Garcia. Been a hard-fought night for Jura, and now Van Vuris will get some minutes here in the closing stages of this game. Still time for Portland Timbers 2 as it stands. So we're gonna get 2 substitutions as well for Eric Boucher's unit. Steve Flores and Josh Copeland will sub into the match. We got confirmation that Sydney Wathuta, the goal scorer, is subbing out. We haven't gotten reports yet of who Flores is stepping in for. Now we have that confirmation. Andre Eriksson, who was the other player who went down along with Wathuta, will also exit the game for Flores. So both those changes necessitated by some players aching. Hopefully nothing too serious, nothing pulled. Bosa steps on that pass. And that'll go off Garcia last. Just over 5 minutes of the original 90 to go. Goal scored in the 69th minute by Sydney Wathuta. Was a banger. Earning the lead for this Colorado Rapids 2 side that currently is out shooting Portland 19-3 with 4 shots on target, and they may be on to another opportunity here. Garcia was searching for the contact there. Was almost trying to win the penalty off the body of Malcolm Johnston. Almost lunging into him. Certainly a cynical endeavor. Garcia's been a busy bee in this game. Enriquez releases to Pope. Blake Pope with some acreage in front of him. Pope out to Linares. Linares, too much air on that curling ball. Chances starting to dwindle here for Portland Timbers too. They haven't had a good chunk of them in this game, and as a matter of fact, they haven't officially tested Nico Hansen. That foul going to be called on Blake Pope, and some dissent from the group on the pitch for that one, and I can understand why. Bosa rips this one in centrally. It connects with Garcia. He's double teamed. And that seems to be the end of that opportunity, at least for now. Definitely some frustration there from Daniel Nunez. Almost shocked to not see a yellow card there for something so clear. Van Boris heading that one out. Rapids 2 looking to extend their unbeaten streak to 7. Having won, which currently would be 5 of those 7 games. Haven't been the most successful team from penalties. Those 2 draws in this stretch of games, they weren't able to win either of them from the penalty marker. Actually, that's incorrect. They did win one of them, which which was their first of the season, but they've lost 4 and just won 1 when they've drawn. Pinto knocked over, and a free kick incoming.
Right, it's such a, and it was huge for you, like the trophies in Team 4. Yeah, it's in that one. No, it's in Team Guard. Which is, like, that's really special.
Flores rolls this one out to the right-hand side. Copeland, service inside, dished away. And we're going to have 4 minutes tacked on here before this one comes to a conclusion. A lot of positives to take away from this one for Rapids, too. I'm sure the main complaint will be the clinicality in the attacking third. But as far as the flow of play, can't be too much to complain about on that front. Timbers2, just a bit too much of a passenger in this match. They did have some spells where, look, you're suffering on the road, you're continuing to weather the storm, but if you find a goal in that little stretch of time, especially here in the second half, they had a window of about 5 minutes where they had a handful of chances, some corner kicks. You score a goal there, and suddenly everything about the game changes. And sometimes on the road, that's how you're going to get results away from home, especially against a high-quality team, is when you have the moment to commit thievery, you got to do it. Of course, that's easier said than done. But with the way this game unfurled, that was your opportunity. Copeland, lovely ball up ahead, but sliding in is Lucas Burns, who has had himself a good shift here. Another good game for Lucas Burns. A couple of saves, some good interventions when need be before it would statistically be a shot on goal. Another hopeful ball up ahead. Garcia giving chase to it, but Lucas Burns privy to the problem. Garcia not going to let up here in stoppage time. He has been giving whoever's the right back the works this entire game. Now it's Bryce Van Buren with Sawyer Jura for the majority of the match. With 1 more minute to go, these two sides can start eyeballing what's up next. Sunday bout with Tacoma for Portland Timbers 2. And then about 10 days off before the match to close out the month of August on the road against Sporting Kansas City 2 for Colorado Rapids 2. Look to keep pace with the town despite the team from San Jose having a couple games in hand. Gonna be hard to catch up to St. Louis, as a matter of fact. The mathematics on that one may be pretty unlikely, even in the most ideal of scenarios. But that fight for the second seed, still there to be taken. And a month or two ago, you wouldn't have thought Colorado Rapids 2 would have been in that conversation, but they've been able to really find some positivity late in the season. And the final whistle sounds. A statistical onslaught, but Sydney Wathuta is the one who puts it home and gives all 3 points to Colorado Rapids 2. 7 games unbeaten. They continue to show their quality here in the summer. Let's take a look at our man of the match. And of course, it's going to be the goal scorer, Sydney Wathuta. It's a nice find from the byline for Pinto. And then Wathuta weaves himself into the pocket he wanted to shoot from and lets that one fly. Gives his team all 3 points. 20 shots in the game, but that's the one that counted for Colorado Rapids 2. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Mark Schoenster. Once again, our final score 1-0 in favor of Colorado Rapids 2. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you next time.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.